This evening, the Prime Minister is urging citizens to properly dispose of their rubbish. The Ministry of Education assured Tucville Primary and Secondary School PTA that their concerns will be addressed. In the region, refugees decry Title 42 as absurd excuse as it stays in place. And internationally, deadly floods cause havoc in Bangladesh and northeast India. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Berbice. Thank you for joining us. We begin this evening's newscast with an unusual story, but the Commissioner of Police, acting Mr. Clifton Hickins today, expressed his dissatisfaction in relation to the physical altercation between a police rank and a member of the public, which was captured in a video that is circulating on social media, in which the police rank is seen involved in a scuffle and trading punches with a civilian whom he was trying to arrest. According to Hickins, an inquiry into the incident will be conducted quickly to prevent this type of behavior. The top cop is also appealing to the public to cooperate with the police and vice versa. He further stated, quote, "The police does not and cannot operate in isolation. Thus, the need for partnership and cooperation between the police and the public, one that should be premised on mutual trust and cooperation while exploring every avenue to maintain law and order in society." End of quote. The top cop is assuring the public that the police force is working on posture and strict adherence to standard operation procedures aimed at ensuring that ranks are professional in the discharge of their duties, even in the face of harassment and intimidation from non-cooperating civilians. Following a demonstration by parents, teachers, and students in front of the Ministry of Education, the Chief Education Officer assured parents that their concerns were valid and that the ministry is working to restore the schools so that their children can return. Esther Sobers has more.
The Ministry of Public Works issued a certificate of inspection on Monday, approving the electrical works which has been done at the Tucville Primary and Secondary schools all over last few weeks. This came to light of a protest by parents, teachers, and students in front of the Ministry of Education building yesterday about the school's safety after two people recently received electric shock. Parents of students attending the schools on the compound recently expressed concerns that the school may have electrical issues, which made it unsafe to occupy. The Ministry of Education discovered that these vulnerabilities had existed since 2017 but had never been addressed.
There are issues where parents and even cleaners receive shock while attending the work at school. Those things have been dismissed by the ministry, quite unfortunately. But we have seen instances and cases by which those things could have been actually be made to happen. But of course, the ministry doesn't want to concede to that. And so we have to press our demands to ensure that the place is made safe so our children can go there, continue learning, and our teachers and other auxiliary staff can be there doing their work and be in a safe zone. That's what we're asking for.
However, following the protest on Monday, Dr. Marcel Hudson, Chief Education Officer, provided parents and teachers with complete updates on all of their concerns. He further assured the parents that their worries were legitimate and the ministry is working to restore the schools to a state where their children may return and receive an education in a secure environment. As the conference came to a close, Dr. Marcel encouraged all of the parents and teachers to work together in a collaborative atmosphere to which each other agreed. Additionally, the remedial work at the schools will be done over the next few weeks before children are allowed to return. In the meantime, primary school children will attend South Rumball Primary, while Tucville Secondary School pupils will participate in online activities. Students studying the Caribbean Secondary Education will take their exam at Lodge Secondary School. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sober.
Thanks, Esther. The Zealot Primary School in Region 3 will receive a sparkling new makeover to the tune of over $152 million. In a brief remark, Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Nigel Darmlal noted that the region has tremendous potential in the oil and gas sector, which will attract major investments. He said the government has committed to ensure that the nation's children are provided with quality education to benefit from these investments. The current old wooden structure would be demolished and a new modern concrete building will be reconstructed. The structure has been left unattended for some time and deteriorated. Works are expected to be completed within a year. Nevertheless, the minister is urging the contractors to complete the work on time or earlier if possible. Stick around. After the break, Prime Minister is urging citizens to properly dispose of their rubbish, and Berbice's new renovated Central Police Station was officially opened. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule, which is sponsored by Antique and Modern Concrete Molding Establishment.
In a world filled with copycats and ever-changing trends, make your property stand out with unique concrete moldings. Different, exquisite designs carefully handcrafted to suit your style, with various customizable and antique and modern designs made at our factory. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment. We make your property outstanding. We make and install all moldings anywhere in Guyana.
The best quality, affordable prices, on-the-spot quotes, and no hidden fees.
Call us or WhatsApp us at 684-5050 or email us at modernestab@gmail.com. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment, made to stand out.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give in to a juicy piece of KFC. To feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
The Guyana Elections Commission GCOM is currently conducting a cycle of continuous registration. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by October 31, 2022 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Where to register? Visit the registration office responsible for your area of residence to apply for registration. See Sunday Press for the locations of the registration offices. Registration offices are open from Monday to Friday, 8 to 18 hours, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 14 hours. The offices will be closed on holidays. This registration exercise will end on Sunday, May 29, 2022. For further information, contact GCOM on hotline numbers 225-5868, 225-5808. Or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, head of the National Task Force on Flooding, is urging residents of flood-impacted areas and by extension all of Guyana to ensure that they properly dispose of their garbage He said the drains and canals continue to be clogged with garbage and unnecessary items, which exacerbates the problem during the rainy season. The Prime Minister made the comments when he met with other members of the task force on Monday evening. He emphasized that operations have been ongoing since the first report of heavy rainfalls over the last 2 days. While pumps are being installed and excavators are cleaning waterways, he stated that all residents must do their part to ensure that they are prepared for flood impacts. Persons must also be considerate when disposing of their garbage, which, if done improperly, can aid the flooding of several communities. Rainfall over the last few days had been excessive. Floods have been reported in regions 9 and 10. The task force, via the relevant agencies and ministries, will monitor the developing situation continuously and provide updates as they are available. Persons are encouraged to remain vigilant and cautious during this rainy season and report any impacts to local authorities or the National Emergency Monitoring System at 600 7500 or 226 1114. Yesterday, the Minister of Home Affairs, Robertson Ben, officially launched the multi-million-dollar Central Police Station in Berbice. Esther Sobres has more details.
Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben officially commissioned the $150 million Central Police Station in Berbice on Monday, May 23, 2022. The departments and facilities housed in the new police headquarters are a domestic violence room, juvenile-friendly holding area, child-friendly area, witness protection room, case management room, cage management system, traffic department, and criminal investigation department, among others. The minister also commissioned a fully furnished Zara Computer Center donated by the J. and Sylvia Subaraj Foundation at the police station. The computer center is well equipped to meet the needs of youths and ranks alike who are desirous of furthering their education. With the motto "Education is a Great Equalizer" at the helm of the vision of the J. and Sylvia Subaraj Foundation seeks to unlock the potential in every individual by partnering with non-government and governmental organizations in communities in New York and Guyana. The foundation strives to diversify its work to include development in education, community, programming, technology, and mental health. Also, about a month ago, Zara Computer Center was commissioned at the Wismar Police Station, where 49 youths and young adults were enrolled to commence classes. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sober.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Deadly floods cause havoc in Bangladesh, northeast India, and Denmark, Scotland detect first monkeypox virus cases.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a cycle of continuous registration. Anyone who will be 14 years or older by October 31, 2022 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is your civic duty and legal responsibility to apply for registration if you are eligible. When you do, you would be issued a national ID card and be listed to vote at future elections if you meet other eligibility criteria. Persons could be fined or sent to prison for refusing to apply for registration. Registration will end on May 29, 2022. For further information, please contact GECOM on hotline numbers 225-5868, 225-5808, or visit the GECOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a cycle of continuous registration. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by October 31, 2022 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Eligible persons can apply for new registration if you were never registered, name change if you have changed your name since you were registered, correction if registration information is incorrect, and transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered. See Sunday Press for more details. This registration exercise will end on Sunday, May 29, 2022. For further information, contact GCOM on hotline numbers 225-5868, 225-5808, or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. The Biden administration was set to end a border policy called Title 42 on Monday, but the U.S. District Judge blocked the plan to lift the policy last Friday. Al Jazeera's Manuel Ropado reports.
The look of disappointment on the faces of migrants near Mexico's border with the United States. Many of them, like Ronnie Freid, a Haitian migrant who has been stuck in Mexico for more than a year, were hoping Monday would mark an end to Title 42, a pandemic-era policy that has prevented thousands of migrants from seeking asylum in the U.S.
I watch every day to see how things might improve for us. The truth is I was hoping Title 42 would end, because I'm afraid of returning to Haiti or of being deported.
Across the border in the United States, conservative politicians have defended the decision by a U.S. District Court to block the Biden administration from ending Title 42, calling it a vital element for managing the crisis on the border.
We are doing everything we possibly can to prevent people from coming across the border into the state of Texas.
In Tijuana, migrants' rights advocates have held demonstrations in recent days, pleading for U.S. officials to end Title 42, calling it a xenophobic policy that's suspended the processing of asylum applications.
Before Title 42 was put in place 2 years ago, migrants could come right up to this gate. This is the border between Mexico and the United States, and they could request asylum. But under the guise of the COVID-19 health emergency, border authorities are able to turn away asylum seekers. Human rights observers say this violates both U.S. and international law.
Though it's unknown how long Title 42 will remain in place, it doesn't mean all asylum cases will remain suspended. After 10 months of waiting on the border, Jezbeth, a migrant fleeing cartel violence in southern Mexico, has been granted humanitarian parole and will soon be crossing into the U.S. legally.
I heard Title 42 was going to continue and wondered when will it be removed. All I said was, God, you know what I've been through, I trust in you, and I know someday I'll make it across. And that day has finally arrived.
The White House, along with the U.S. Department of Justice, have announced plans to appeal the court's decision to extend Title 42. Until then, tens of thousands of migrants along the length of the U.S.-Mexico border will have to wait indefinitely to have their asylum cases heard. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Tijuana, Mexico.
Internationally, days of heavy rainfall and flooding has left dozens of persons dead and tens of thousands stranded in many parts of Bangladesh and neighboring India, Al Jazeera's Tanveer Chowdhury reports.
Sunara Begum struggles to cope after days of widespread flooding in this region of Bangladesh. She says it's hard to feed her 2 children by herself. Her husband is a migrant worker in Malaysia.
There is water all around my home. It has become very difficult to live under these conditions with my children. I can't cook, wash, take a bath, and my children can't go to school. I can't even feed them properly.
Nearly 2 million people have been affected in northeastern Zealot region in what officials describe as one of the worst floods in 2 decades. Most of the villagers we've been talking to in the flood-affected areas have complained that they have not received any kind of relief from government or aid agencies. They are in desperate need for fresh water, food, and financial assistance. The government has set up more than 200 shelters for flood victims and has started distributing relief in some of the worst affected areas in Zealot. But some of the shelters provided by the government are inadequate and overcrowded. Those who have been displaced by the floods have much to complain about the rations and the living conditions.
We are dying of hunger. Our homes all got washed away, but the politicians have hardly done anything for us. They're too busy feeding themselves, and over here we're just getting some meager rations that barely feed us.
The floods have washed away thousands of hectares of farmlands and hatcheries. Many people like Alal Ahmed are now worried about their future.
Most of the homes around here, including ours, are all inundated with floodwater. We have not received any kind of relief or help so far. No one even came over to see our situation.
A few days of sunshine have brought some hope to many of the farmers here who are trying to dry their paddies by the roadside.
It's been almost 2 weeks since our home was flooded. Now the water is receding a little bit, so now we're trying to salvage some paddies.
The flood situation may have improved in some areas, but some of the major rivers like Jamuna and Padda have started to swell, inundating low areas in the south and north-central Bangladesh, causing worries for local farmers. Tanveer Chowdhury, Al Jazeera, Sunamganj, Bangladesh.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Deadly floods cause havoc in Bangladesh, northeast India, and Denmark, Scotland detect first monkeypox virus cases.
Scientists and health agencies are trying to understand why monkeypox is suddenly spreading more widely than ever before.
It's been well studied in the African region. We've seen a few cases in Europe over the last 5 years, just in travelers, but this is the first time we're seeing cases across many countries at the same time in people who have not traveled to the endemic regions in Africa.
Endemic in parts of Central and West Africa, in the past it was generally confined to isolated cases outside that region. Now, with evidence of community transmission via close bodily contact across many countries, they'll be investigating whether the virus has become more transmissible.
The question is whether it will develop like previous monkeypox outbreaks. We must take into consideration that the way the virus spreads could mean it changed, so we must react quickly and decisively now to contain a global outbreak.
The symptoms are generally mild, if unsightly, and often clear up on their own, but there are higher risk groups among the young and immunocompromised. So the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control is warning member states to gear up for possible vaccine distribution, using remaining supplies of the vaccine that helped eradicate smallpox in the 1980s. Beyond concern, however, no one is signalling alarm.
For the broader population, the likelihood of spread is very low. However, the likelihood of further spread of the virus through close contact, for example, during sexual activities among persons with multiple sexual partners, is considered to be high.
In a world still racked by the COVID-19 pandemic, societies have an advanced understanding of viral spread and protection. Testing, contact tracing, self-isolation and basic hygiene are household concepts. so containing a disease like monkeypox should be relatively easy. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.